Degenerative health problems, including stroke, diabetic ulcers, wound healing, brain injury, and many other disorders. Whenever blood flow and oxygen delivery to vital organs is reduced, healing can potentially be aided with hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Are you a candidate for hyperbaric oxygen therapy? Contact Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel, PhD, for a free consultation and see if this groundbreaking therapy can help you. Mention Kcaa and get a free gift. Call toll-free 1-877-423-7986. That's 1-877-423-7986.
Or go to hyperbaric-solutions.com. That's www.hyperbaric-solutions.com.
Call toll-free right now, 1-877-423-7986. Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy.
Greetings and welcome back to What's It All About. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on Kcaa Radio, 1050 on your AM radio dial and 106.5 on your FM dial. I have a couple of questions that came through on our question and answer line, which, by the way, is, if anybody wants to write it down, grab a pen and a piece of paper. It is area code 949, and the number is 680-1915. Just listen to the message, leave any message you want, and if you want us to call you back, leave your phone number, please. We can't do it without your number, and we will. Otherwise, we'll address whatever issue you suggest or ask about. So, one of the questions was, it's the end of a year. I don't know how to deal with what to do with resolutions. I don't know how to deal with what to do with resolutions. Well, first of all, what are resolutions? Anybody have any ideas? You can call us at 1-888-909-1050. That's 1-888-909-1050. A resolution is kind of a change in plan. If you're doing something, you want to do something different, you think about how you're going to go about that, you make yourself a plan, a promise to do something a little differently or do something you haven't done or whatever. If you have a habit that is not to your liking, you know that you'd be better off without, you think about how you're going to implement a change in that habit. Those are resolutions. If you want to lose weight, that can be a resolution. Stop smoking, that can be a resolution. There's all kinds of possibilities. But what we do, we have a tendency, most of us, to make a list of a lot of things and do none of them. None of them. I know someone called in last year and they said they had 22 resolutions and they didn't do any of them. And I said, well, number one, you have too many, and you get confused, and you can't do 22 different things. So just wise up and pick one or two things you want to deal with at a time, identify them, and then write down not just the resolution or the thing you want to do, but write down a plan. What are you going to do? How are you going to accomplish this? And make it something that you can focus in on. You don't have 10 things, 20 things to focus in on. You have one thing to work on at a time. You want to lose some weight? What you do is you make a plan. You study a little bit, read a little bit about diet or nutrition or whatever. I hate the word diet because diet is reeking of deprivation. And on a subconscious level, no one wants to experience deprivation. They don't want to experience any being deprived of anything. So instead of a diet, you go on a nutritional program that you develop that will create in your precious body what you want created. That's what you do. That's the purpose of a resolution. It is to make a change in your life. And you make changes one thing at a time. If you have 10 things, fine. List all 10 things. But one at a time, you do them. You become proficient at one of them. You get a little bit better. If weight loss is involved, you start losing a little pound here and a pound there. If you lose 2 pounds a week, I think that's incredibly wonderful. And it's not hard to do. It's real easy to do. And first thing I do is cut out sugar. Period. Absolutely. Cut out sugar. Anything with sugar. Don't eat any candy. Don't eat any kind of donuts or cookies or cake or coffee. Just coffee cake. Just cut it out. Just cut it out. That's all. And do that for a month and see what happens. Drink plenty of water. Plenty of water. What does plenty of water mean? Well, there was a famous doctor who did a lot of research on water, and he used water as one of the prime treatments in all of his medical works. Water. And water is very, very important. And how much water? Well, Dr. Batmangela decided that he would do a bit of a study. The results of his study were that each and every one of us should drink 1/2 ounce of water per day per pound of body weight. So if I weigh 200 pounds, I drink at least 100 ounces of water a day, good, pure water. That I drink it starting in the morning when I wake up. I have a nice glass of water on my empty stomach. Now, the next question is, what kind of water? What kind of water? Well, that's a wide open question, and there are a lot of answers, but I'm going to give you a reasonable answer. The purest water that you can find available that is not distilled. If it's distilled, you've got to add trace minerals to it, because distilled water and even reverse osmosis water, because they do basically the same thing, remove minerals from your body. And the last thing you want to do is leach minerals out of your body. So you want to use water that does have, spring water is great, or water with mineral supplementation. That's fine too. You can get a bottle from the health food store of mineral supplement drops, shake it up, follow the directions, put a few drops in the water, and then you're not going to be leaching. Water is extremely important. And why? Someone asked me the other day, I gave a lecture and said, well, why is water so important? I'm going to tell you why water is so important. Water does two major things. Number one, it removes waste. It is a very powerful waste removal tool. As you all know, you pee all the time. That's one of the things you're doing, is removing waste, and that's a good thing to do. So water does that. Its second and most important function, aside from removing waste, is to provide the fluids to make all the body fluids that you need. It is the prime component. Without enough water, you will not have enough blood. Without enough blood, you're at risk. And the viscosity of your blood is very important. What does that mean? The thickness of your blood. If you're making pancakes in the morning and it says mix 1 cup of flour with 3 cups of water, and you only have 1 cup of water, and you mix 1 cup of flour or pancake mix with 1 cup of water, and it says 3, you're going to have a mess on your hands. Pancakes aren't going to turn out well, if they turn out at all. Well, if you don't have enough water as a prime element for the production of blood, guess what? Your blood will be thicker than it should. And what does that mean? Your circulation won't be as good. It means that you are at more risk for stroke. Remember, you have blood vessels in your body, and so do I, that are so tiny that they're almost non-perceivable. They're incredibly small. How small would you say? Well, there's evidence that there are blood vessels in our brain that are so small that it will take 5 or more of them to match the size of one human hair. Now, you tell me, you want blood to be too thick if you have blood vessels that small to get through? What is it called when the blood can't get through, when it coagulates, when it's too thick? Stroke time, baby. You don't want that. So you got to have enough water. Got to have enough water to make fluids for the eyes, to make digestive fluids, to create the aciduous fluids that are very important in the digestion process, to create synovial fluid so your joints will function well. Every fluid your body needs begins with water. If you don't have enough water, you're in deep trouble. So start drinking enough water. That might be the prime resolution for the new year. It could change your life. I literally mean that. It can change your life. So remember that water is highly important. Good, clean water, water that has minerals in it, trace minerals you can buy. If you want to use distilled water, fine, but you have to add minerals to it. Very, very important to do that. So water is an important element. Another important element is to look at your body enough to learn what it needs to be fueled. You wouldn't pee in the gas tank of your car. You wouldn't put poison in the gas tank of your car, fill it with scotch or vodka or gin or beer or wine or Coca-Cola. You know you'd be an idiot to do that, so what do? You put in it what works. Gasoline works, absolutely, and that's what you do. And if you're concerned about top efficiency or something different than regular gas would give you, you may want to put in a different grade of gas, but you have that choice. So that's all about nutrition. It is very, very important for us to decide how we're going to fuel our body. Now, it is time for a break. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on Kcaa Radio, 1050 on your AM radio dial and 106.5 FM.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Behind on your payments or barely making minimums? Do your massive interest payments have you running like mad in circles? How long can you keep it up? Stop running. Let the Thomas & Law Group carefully plan your escape. The Thomas & Law Group has proven itself for over 18 solid years, helping thousands of people like you and me reclaim our financial future. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and offices in all 50 states. And the best part? There are no upfront fees at all. You won't pay a dime until the job's done. No upfront costs, no monthly fees, no banking fees. No other law firm does that. I'm a paid spokesperson, not a lawyer, and every case is different. But really, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, call the Thomas & Law Group right away for a free, no-obligation consult with a trained legal analyst at 800-460-9790. Call now because you're tired of running in circles. 800-460-9790. 800-460-9790.
Hyperbaric oxygen therapy has only lately begun to gain recognition for treatment of chronic degenerative health problems, including stroke, diabetic ulcers, wound healing, brain injury, and many other disorders. Whenever blood flow and oxygen delivery to vital organs is reduced, healing can potentially be aided with hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Are you a candidate for hyperbaric oxygen therapy? Contact Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel, PhD, for a free consultation and see if this groundbreaking therapy can help you. Mention KCAA and get a free gift. Call toll-free 1-877-423-7986. That's 1-877-423-7986.
Or go to hyperbaric-solutions.com. That's www.hyperbaric-solutions.com.
Call toll-free right now, 1-877-423-7986. Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy.
Greetings and salutations. I have a message for Julie in North Carolina. Julie, something was mailed to you. I'm supposed to tell you it's in the mail and you should be receiving it soon. I don't know what it is, but something, so I hope it's good. Anyway, we were talking about water, so I'm going to stop talking about water except to say it is a very important factor in our daily lives, and water in the morning is great. Another thing we want to look at as important would be movement, exercise. Our bodies were made to move, and exercise is important for many, many reasons. One very practical reason, and I remember when I was director of the patient care program at the Whitaker Medical Institute, we made our well made. We didn't have a gun at their head, but we encouraged them tremendously to walk after each meal. And we would want them to walk about 20, 25 minutes after each meal. And why did we want to do that? Well, because when you eat, you usually eat some carbs, and those carbs almost immediately turn to glucose, which is sugar, in your blood, and that is not a wonderful thing. So here's what happens if you walk after a meal. Your blood sugar levels go higher because you're releasing glucose by virtue of what you ate, and sometimes a lot of glucose. When you move, when you exercise, your muscles must have glucose to keep them going. They thrive on sugar. So guess what happens? They need sugar. So they draw sugar out of the blood in order to support your walking and moving and whatever it is you're doing to take a walk. And you lower your blood sugar levels. And that is absolutely and monumentally important. So if you do that after every meal, you should be having lower what they call A1C levels of blood. When you take your blood, they measure your sugar levels, and they have a way of doing it over a 90-day average period. And that's how they decide whether or not you're diabetic. So I want to remind all of you that exercise is also very important. And if it's 15, 20 minutes a day of brisk walking, hey, that's better than nothing. So I would even do more than that. I would be involved in doing some kind of, if you can get to a gym, fine. And if you're a senior, I think there are all kinds of deals at gyms that you can go to and work out a little bit. Your body will function better. You'll be finding that after a month or so, you begin actually to feel a whole lot better. So you have hydration, you have exercise, and then you have nutrition. Nutrition for the new year. What do we do? How do we decide what to eat, what not to eat? First of all, you need to understand that too many carbs can be a very bad thing for you. And the nature of the carbs is also important. Wheat turns to carbs pretty quickly. And pasta, of course, most pasta is made of wheat. There are other things, any kind of sweet cake or cookie or cupcake or whatever is also going to be included. So you need to minimize, really, really minimize those kinds of things. I, for example, do not eat bread on general principles, with rare exception. Once in a while, great while, I'll have some Ezekiel bread made out of bean sprouts or some kind of sprouts. I don't like the flour. But someone once said in a medical lecture at a convention I was at that it's important to remember that when we eat, we should be gluten conscious. And I don't understand a whole lot about gluten, but gluten is an essential element in wheat. And gluten-free things are much better for the body. We have a lot of children at our medical center that are diagnosed with autism. And we noticed when we take them totally off gluten and lower their sugar, their glucose levels pretty tremendously, that they have a level of improvement that is measurable, which is very important. So I don't know, you might want to look up gluten and read about gluten and see about it, but I want you all to take more control over what you eat, because what you eat is what you become cellularly. It is what you become. Those elements that you put in your body are what nourish you and build your cells, and you become a byproduct of what you eat. And then you create excrement, which is the byproduct of all the stuff that you processed. We're like a little machine. We're like a car. You put in gasoline, you burn it, you have exhaust. We eat, we drink, and we use it up and process it, and we have exhaust. That's exactly the way we are. And we have to determine what's going to go in, because what goes in our body is what either nourishes us, creates a state of health or makes us sick. And then there's a story of cancer, which I want to have a whole show on cancer. And I'd like to have a couple of experts call in, which I will arrange, so that we can talk about cancer. Cancer is an interesting disease, and I think we've been treating it erroneously for a long time. I think we have not really understood the nature of cancer, and we try to kill it as if it's a great enemy, and it is an enemy. We understand that. But trying to kill it with armies of radiation and other type things, strong chemotherapeutic drugs, is interesting. It seems to kill us faster than it kills the cancer. There is a new methodology that really started many, many decades ago, but was never adopted by anyone, and I wonder why. If you understand the financial implications, you might be able to understand why. And it's called low-dose chemotherapy. And low-dose chemotherapy is interesting. It's kind of like this. You take 90% less chemo, 90%. You take only 10% of the level of chemotherapeutic agent to use, and you potentiate it with insulin. Insulin has a method of making the effect much stronger than 10% effect would obviously be. And with 90% less poison, which is chemotherapeutic agent is basically poison, that's how it kills cancer cells, you are eliminating 90% of the miserable side effects, and you're potentiating the good effects with the insulin, and also hyperbaric oxygen therapy can be helpful in doing that. And there's a great deal of progress being made in using that. And theoretically, if a dose of chemo costs $5,000, 90% less should cost about $500 or $600. So that should be a good incentive for the insurance companies as well. So I think it is a good thing to keep up with all of this. Now, we are entering the process of developing a relationship with a new year of life. It's kind of like an interesting situation, because we really psychologically and emotionally should leave everything behind us that's not wonderful in our estimation and go into a new world. Now, there are some cultures. I have some friends who are Iranians, and I have for a number of years gone to their celebration of the new year. And this particular group does it at Corona del Mar Beach. And they build these fires, and they walk through or run through the fire. And the first time years ago I went, I saw these people running through the fire, and I thought, what are they doing? They're going to have roast people for dinner? And obviously not. But I said, I want to do that. What is it all about? And the lady, the hostess, explained to me, well, the fire is a significant source of remembering, for us remembering that what goes in a fire gets burned up and doesn't exist anymore. And so we run through the fire with the intention of leaving our miseries and our faults and our stupidities and the mistakes that we've made. We run through the fire, and we symbolically leave them in the fire to be burned up, and we emerge from the fire purified. So it's a symbol of purification, much like baptism is a symbol of purification. You either go in water or have water dumped on your head as a symbol of cleansing, the water removing all the stuff that is not supposed to be there, and you being refreshed with new energy and new vitality. So I think we need to mentally understand that we should say to ourselves, in whatever form we want to use, that I am leaving the crap, the BS. I am leaving my proclivity to create mistakes behind me. And I'm going into this new year with a commitment to make it a better year than the last year. But in order to do that, you got to write some things down, write some commitments down. What is it you want to do? If there's 22 things you want to do, pick the 3 most important things and work on them one at a time. One at a time. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. One at a time. And I'll tell you, if any of you want any consultation on anything that I've said today, you're welcome to call our line, area code 949-680-1915. Leave a message. I will call you and talk to you about it and give you some tips and some encouragement. And I will send you a whopping bill that says 0 on it. All right? So that I would do as a gift to any of you. And listening to me babble on the radio sometimes is a little bit crazy, because what I say, all the things that I say, you really have to work at to do. And sometimes it's overwhelming. And if it's overwhelming to you and I could give you a little bit of direction, I am willing, ready, and quite able to do it. So we are approaching the close, of our show today. And I want to thank Di, our gracious producer and engineer, and the lady that tells me what to do behind the glass. I honor you, and I praise you, and I'm grateful for you. I want you to know that, all right? And I know that you can't throw any lemons or oranges at me because there's glass in between us. So I'm confident that you'll just keep smiling. So anyone that has anything to say and wants us to hear it, please call our information line and leave a message. It is area code 949-680-1915. I had a few complaints over the last year about saying the numbers too fast, so I'm saying them very slowly. Say it again. Area code 949-680-1915. So remember to be grateful. Exude gratitude for everything in your life. If you believe in God, say, God, thank you for everything. Thank you. I'm a wretched soul and I need all the help I can get. Please help me. Thank you for my life, for all that I'm able to do. And give me wisdom. Give me a kick in the butt if you need to help me on the road to wisdom. Do something loving and kind for the people in your life. And forgive yourself for all the crap that you may have done in your life. Remove it from your life. Next week, we'll talk a little bit about forgiveness, as well as we'll have a guest with us. We hope that all of you will create a beautiful new week and a wonderful new year. And may God bless all of you, and may you have the courage to take those blessings and act on them. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel signing off on What's It All About, KCAA Radio.
KCAA is proud to announce another new service for all North American listeners. Now you can listen to our station on your telephone by calling us at 832-999-1050. Our service is available on any standard telephone, cell phone, or smartphone. Simply call 832-999-1050. That's 832-999-1050. Standard cell phone rates may apply.
This is KCAA Loma Linda. CNBC News is next. Brought to you by BuySellMakeOffer.com. Go there now and join the thousands who have already signed up for a new and exciting way to buy and sell online, launching January 15th.
I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio. The world's largest McDonald's is about to close up shop, but in a couple of months, the giant restaurant and entertainment complex at the heart of Orlando's tourist area will be replaced with an even bigger Mickey D's right next door. On Wall Street, stocks closed lower today, led by a drop in energy shares after the latest drop in oil and natural gas prices.